this is kind of interesting. So Dan Murphy of the Browns tweets this out. This is how good of a season Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah had a year ago. NFL players to record at least 90 tackles and 20 TFLs, that's tackles for loss, in a season since 2000. So that's 24 years. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah last year. Luke Kuechly, probably going into the Hall of Fame, 2018. Levante David of Tampa Bay, twice, 2013 and 2012. That's a very short list that JOK is on, and he did it basically in half a season. Because if you remember, he struggled a little bit, and they were taking him off the field early in the year last year.
Yeah, when you look at those numbers, I don't think you bat an eye at 90 tackles for an off-ball linebacker. That's kind of common. You'll see a handful of guys exceed that. But that 20 tackles for loss is so rare from that position. If you just look at the players you named there, 2013 Levante David, first team All-Pro. 2018 Luke Kuechly, first team All-Pro. And I think that you touched on it. He was able to do that with literally for the first 7 games really not being a full-time player on the field, having to come off the field. And well, that's the next step in his evolution, is being that guy who takes 95% of the snaps. So if he does that, I think you look at those numbers and you're going to see 110, 120 tackles, maybe 25 tackles for loss. And if you stack that on what he did last year, I think, this year you'll start to see him get that notoriety, the first team all pros, those type of things, which also makes me glad that the Browns were able to sign him now, because I think that price tag would be pretty hefty after the season.
Yeah, the other thing that I think you're going to end up seeing, people will say, all right, we gotta make sure 95 Myles Garrett doesn't wreck the game. You're getting to the point where if you get in your 10, 15 TFLs and you're 5, 6 games into the season, they're going to start saying, all right, 6 can't wreck the game either.
Yeah, he's going to be one of those guys they circle on the whiteboard, along with number 9, Grant Delpit. He's a guy who had 7 tackles for loss as a safety. Like, that's not a common number. So they're starting to have these players that you're going to have to pay more attention to other than just 95, which that's what you need to do. You need as many math changers as possible, and JOK definitely fits that description.